All right, welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David,
I'm Gary.
and that's Nico. I put a little arrow by him so that you can see him. My name covers him up, so all the cat fans can be happy. Everybody's wearing black today.
He's doing a great job grooming.
Exactly.
I wish you and I were as well groomed as Nico.
So, Gary.
Yes.
What was a joke that people used to hilariously call people who needed glasses in elementary school?
4 eyes?
Exactly. Oh, now, what's 5 eyes?
5 eyes. That's if you have glasses and you're standing next to Colonel Klink.
No, not that. Not that. What about the intelligence agency? 5 eyes.
Oh, that. Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Is
So,
Colonel Klink on 5 eyes?
What's that? No, he was not.
Okay, there's not 5 Colonel
Sergeant
Klink.
Schultz was on there though, because he knows nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
So, 5 eyes. Intelligence sharing involving the U.S., Australia. Who else is there? France, Germany, and Italy. I forget who 5 eyes are.
Canada would be in that, don't you think?
Yeah. God, there's no way to know these things. We can actually bother doing this stuff.
Research is a great thing. I wish we would do it once in a while.
Exactly.
So I guess we're both Sergeant Schultz in this situation.
Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and the United States. So sorry about the France and Germany part. So what happens when you are the jerk to all those countries and can't keep secrets quiet? What you're going to end up with are 4 eyes.
Yes. Yeah, because you can't trust the 5th eye because every time you tell them the secret, they go blab it out for everyone to know and hear, right?
Poke him in that eye. So as part of Signalgate, but information was in there that I think Gary was saying that Israel was really upset about because it could potentially compromise the source some information gathering or sources on their side of things.
Yeah, if I was to speculate, they knew where someone was going to be at a certain time, and that might have come from an Israeli intelligence source, and that was broadcast live and in color on that Signalgate communication. Right. So Israel's really unhappy about this. And I was telling Dave, it's like, how are the allies, these allied nations or the 5 eyes, how are they going to react to the Signalgate? The other thing too is the U.S. military pilots, they're pissed off too, because they're the ones that are going to pay the price, by all this lack of protocol and care about this classified information. Loose lips sink ships. That's applies to pilots as well. So there's going to be a lot of unhappy people in the military and in the intelligence agencies as a result of this.
Okay, so what was the question that you wanted to read on with this one?
The first is, how are the allies going to react? Are they going to start scaling back or withholding information from the United States? And if so, to what degree, I suppose? And I guess they're going to. So to what degree are they going to?
All right, let's go find out. I'll let you start off on this one.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Hi, everyone. Okay, so for entertainment purposes only,
I'm entertained.
How are these foreign intelligence agencies, our allies, going to react to Signalgate? How much are they going to cut back on sharing information? Okay, foundation of the reading is the Knight of Wands. Let's put this down a little bit. So they're taking actions, and these actions are moving forward. The challenge is the Ace of Swords. The Sword of Truth is out there. Yeah, there's a little too much truth being shared out there. This just the whole lack of protocol. They're seeing what a bunch of amateurs Trump has put in these very critical positions where you have to deal with things of a highly sensitive nature. And these guys are treating it like it's a group chat with their frat bros.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath it all, the energy underneath this is the Page of Pentacles. They're looking at their information, the things that they bring of value, they being the foreign intelligence allies. They're looking at, the things that they have in value. And these things, you have to be very careful and you have to be very delicate with this. And these guys are just going around like a bull in a china shop. In the past, you had the Tower moment where they realized that the foundation of the secrecy nature of this information was just not there. It's just being shared with everyone. Current energies and Knight of Pentacles, they're going to sit back and observe. I think what I'm getting from this is they're going to withhold. They're not going to actively offer out the information. They're just going to sit back and let the United States figure it out. So why should we put our guys at risk? These guys, we take care of our guys, and we're just going to have to wait and see to see if you are actually going to improve. Overarching energy is the Seven of Cups. They're looking at how Trump is trying to spin this like it's not a big deal. This wasn't war plans. These weren't battle plans. These weren't classified information. They were just sensitive information. And the attack was successful. And how about Hillary's server? How about Hillary's emails? And they're looking at this, and this guy's nuts. This whole country and their people they've got running this thing, they're crazy. Lesson to be learned, Eight of Pentacles, we're doing a lot of hard work here. There's a lot of people behind the scenes getting information and putting things together, and throwing it out there in a reckless way is not how we want things done. Lesson to be learned is the Eight of Cups. Okay, well, that makes sense. Just they're willing to walk away. It's like, right now the United States is not a good ally. And these guys are more than happy to walk away, because what's good's a secret if you're just going to share it with everyone? Really know.
Yeah, they're going to stop sharing, or share some stuff. Need to know basis only.
Yeah, and we'll decide when you need to know.
Yeah.
I've got a kitten by the back door.
How lucky for you.
Yes, lucky for both of us. She wants to come in. Hello, my kitten.
Okay, he has addressed the kitten.
Yes.
Okay. I paused it only because, okay, what's the follow-up question on this one? And to me, the follow-up question is, what is going to be the impact of this on U.S. military intelligence if our allies are not as forthcoming with information sharing as they might otherwise be? Nico's unimpressed.
Make the screen bigger so I can be impressed with the lovely nature of your cards.
Oh, gosh. Here, I could do this here. All right, there we go. What's the impact on the U.S. military? Knight of Cups crossed with the Hierophant and the Two of Cups. They're going to have to go looking, apologizing for the government and trying to reinitiate things. I think there's going to be work on this by the State Department to try and apologize for what's going on here and reaffirm our ties. Alternatively, this could be, and we're seeing this shape out more and more, other nations are closing their ties and excluding the U.S. from this one. I'm asking how it's going to impact the U.S. The U.S. needs to do some goodwill work here to get that. In the past, you got the King of Pentacles. Trump and we got a problem with Trump and Musk are causing public relations problems. The U.S. is not a trustworthy friend, or this current administration is not a trustworthy friend, and the U.S. has been allies with people in the past. Current situation, 10 of Cups. The allies have, you think about it, the allies have been allies for 80 plus years, like 85 years. It's been a celebrated friendship and partnership that has benefited everyone in it. I'm asking how it's impacting the... So it could be that the Trump administration quietly starts a goodwill tour trying to reiterate our friendships and how we can face the future together.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it, actually.
Yeah, and that I understand they're upset, but they're upset. They are pissed because they can't be trusted. The outcome is going to be with 4 cups. The U.S. is going to reach out, and they're going to be met with a lot of skepticism, to put it kindly. So I do think that the U.S. is going to try a goodwill tour. It's not asking me how it's going to impact the military. It's telling me what the U.S. is going to do next. They're going to try a goodwill tour and reestablish that intelligence, because the Trump administration needs that intelligence to do what they need to do. And not to put too fine a point on it, but intelligence is worth money, and Trump's all about getting stuff worth money. And he likes to play the loyalty card, but everything is leverage or extortion with him. So he wants you loyal to him, and in return, he will cut a deal with you where he's got too much leverage, and he tries to leverage you into it, or he tries to extort you into it. He's so toxic.
Okay, so will the charm offensive work, huh?
You can ask.
Yeah.
I don't think it will. Not with the 4 cups out there. It sure doesn't look like it's going to work.
Yeah, they're clearly not very happy about this, right? Will the charm offensive work?
Nor should they be happy with it.
So foundation is Page of Cups. They're just seeing all sorts of crazy. Just more. Yeah. There's your 4 cups.
Good job.
Yeah, it's just they're.
I'm reminded of a Star Trek quote from Scotty.
Yeah.
Fool me once.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me.
Yeah. So I think what it is they're looking at the leadership, they're looking at the players, and it's just a bunch of fools. And there's your outcome. It's just that's the main clarifier. It's like, yeah, no, we're not really happy because what
do you think, we're stupid?
Well, Waltz claimed responsibility, and Hegseth was definitely up to it. Yet no one lost their jobs over this.
Well, Trump even went out there today and said nobody's going to get fired because it's a witch hunt.
There you go. The other clarifier, death bringing the end to a cycle. King of Swords. You put all that information out and you didn't do a damn thing about it. You didn't take care of the people that put our intelligence sources at risk. And once again, you got the Queen of Pentacles. So, I had the Page of Pentacles before, where they really value the intelligence information they're bringing. The Queen of Pentacles is, we need to take care of our own here. And you're putting at risk. So, yeah, I'm saying this is definitely supporting your outcome.
Yeah, no, they're not going to share.
Nope.
I wouldn't be surprised if they shared, just like the U.S. government, if they share a little bit of misinformation, just like a contrast dye that you give a cancer patient to see where the cancer cells are. They might tell him some stuff to watch where it goes, where it flows. And here's the thing: as the double card comes flying out, who can our allies trust? Do our allies even trust the State Department? Now, there's a great question, because I don't know. I guess Rubio is the Secretary of State, but do our traditional allies trust the U.S. State Department at this point? Because you can imagine that, that you've changed the head of the State Department, but I imagine the State Department, generally speaking, is similar. The leaders may change, but the actual folks doing the day-to-day work, they're pretty much the same people doing it. And Trump's out there blustering and stuff like that. But do our allies trust our State Department and any reassurances our State Departments give us? So like when I was showing the Knight of Cups, that's the State Department reaching out to those countries saying, whoa, okay, yeah, you have every right to be upset, but we'll get a handle on this, and we'll make sure this doesn't happen again. This is embarrassing. They're come on, we've been together for 85 years. No sense in getting a divorce now. Who's going to get the China? We don't want to have to divide up the China.
It's all about China.
It's always about China, Russia, China, North Korea. What are they going to believe the State Department? It doesn't look like it, but I'm going to double check on that and we'll see. For Cardiff, will they believe our State Department? Proof in the puddings, in the tasting. Foundation is the Hermit, 8 of Swords, Queen of Cups, High Priestess. Good Lord, these are great cards. 9 of Coins. Okay, so foundational reading is the Hermit, Secrets. No retreating or going forward. Queen of Cups, keeping your mouth shut. High Priestess, about secrets. 8 of Swords, because if secrets get out, we're all stuck. 9 of Coins, the enrichment. Basically, traditionally, when we work together, we all benefit, but we only benefit when we keep our mouths shut and not spill the secrets. And if you spill the secrets, hostages get taken, people die, and then our hands are tied with this. Is it answering the question, will they continue sharing? Not especially, but I think what you can look at the overall picture is saying is that when we work together and keep our mouths shut and don't spill our secrets, we all benefit. But right now, there's no guarantee that Donald Trump will keep, and apparently most of his cabinet will keep the people in charge of intelligence. Your director of the CIA, your director of national intelligence, and your secretary of defense apparently can not only not use specific government apps on a specific government server to discuss these things, but when they're on apps that aren't protected, they're putting secrets out on those. Why not just walk around like Bugs Bunny with the one-man band, vote for Bugs type of thing here? Because that's just, they're not going to give them the best secrets that they have. They're going to keep.
I did a one-carder. It's basically, okay, we're gonna watch. We're gonna sit back and see. Basically, it's prove it.
Yeah, and again, that card could very well be, we're going to give you one secret, and we're going to see what happens to it. It's almost like, we'll give you one secret at a time. Yeah. The minute you spit that cookie out onto the floor, you're done.
Yeah.
No more secrets. You get no more than you can stomach. This is not good for the United States.
No, it's bad. It truly is. All right, I think we've got
beaten this secret to death here.
Yeah, we've taken this as far as we can take it.
All right, thank you everyone for watching this video and supporting our channel. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. We put out a new video every night at midnight. Leave a comment. I read them all. Respond to many.
And the ones he doesn't respond to, he reports them to YouTube right away, and then puts them in timeout.
Yes, I do that too. And we also do something no other Twin Tarot with Gary and David do.
We put black cats on the screen?
No, they do that. Everybody does that.
So yes.
We give shout outs to our fans.
Oh, we have fans?
Because they leave nice comments, or they make kind contributions, or they tell me that they were disappointed as a child because their names were never called out on Romper Room.
These things happen.
It does.
Yeah. While we do that, here, I'm going to give people what they really want.
Oh.
Okay, while you do your shout outs, I'm going to give them my black cat.
Okay, you give.
Sorry for the appearance of my office, but apparently cats like to play on wrapping paper and stomp on it all night long. That's just what we do these days.
Well, you're going to appreciate this first one. The first one is for Stefan, and or it could be Stephen, but it's STEPHAN SAH 1701. He said not only was his name not called, he was in the studio audience. and being in the studio audience ruined the magic for him.
Oh, that is the double card. This is the right card for that. I mean,
that was the appropriate card. Sorry
that was for Romper Room?
Yeah, he was actually in the studio audience for Romper Room.
Romper Room had a studio audience? I imagine these are the family members that didn't get to be on the show, and
mom
didn't have babysitters.
5 and 6 year old kids that didn't get there on their own. Mom and dad had to drive them there.
Exactly.
Take them over to Oakland. Yeah, he said, a stagehand would hand her the prop magic mirror when she was swapping it out. He said it really ruined it for him. I'd like to give a shout out to Sabrina Fell. Hi, Sabrina.
Doing.
Oh,
new brawl card for Sabrina.
5 of Wands for you, Sabrina. Dolores Candelaria.
Oh, wait. And we get the next card, which is going to be the 7 of Cups.
Ah, yes.
Integrity.
Don't be fooled.
Make good decisions. Exactly. Make good decisions.
Here's someone who I don't know what their name is, but they've got a great YouTube handle or Google handle. Raised by Wolves.
Let's raise a drink to Raised by Wolves.
Exactly. And then we'll wrap it up with Colette Dew, or her name is Carla. Hi, Carla.
We got 2 coins.
2 of Pentacles.
Maybe she has a favorite twin and a less favorite twin.
Maybe it changes with each reading.
Exactly.
Thank you all for your comments. We truly appreciate it.
All right. And thank you again. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
What about the secret card?
I suppose you could do the secret card.
I'll do the secret card. It's one of your cards. It's the Knight of Cups.
Well, it's one of your cards too.
Now
it's everybody's card.
Yay! Knight of Cups. Go out there and make a kind offering.
Go out there and protest in front of a Tesla dealership.
Amen, brother.
All right, take care, everyone.
Bye.